Welcome to Two Guys Garage. All right, no matter what you like, you know, paint, metal, motors, we got a little bit of something for everybody today.
Yeah, we got a stereo install. We're actually gonna go to the dyno, check out the new motor for this Nova. We got an EFI system, we're gonna tune it. Check it out, it's gonna be a good one.
Oopsie! I dropped the panel out. Bad news. Now, if you look at this old piece, somebody decided to open this thing with a screwdriver like a Coke can. Now, that's not really, obviously, a great way to cut out for a 6x9 speaker. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a whole new panel. First thing I need to do, obviously, is whoop, get rid of that one. And we plasmid about 1/8 of an inch shy. Great thing about plasma is you can get this thing out really fast, get it out of your way, come back with a pair of tin snips, and you can really get a nice edge. And it's a lot quieter than if you go in and grind it out, and you make a lot of mess, you make a lot of dust. So, took some calipers, came in about 1 inch, did like that, made a line. Now the big thing on these, once you get started, is get to your line, and if you notice what I'm doing is actually pulling up on the metal. So a little bit at a time, right on the edge, right on the line, and you can do a nice little cut. We'll go ahead and get this out of the way, and we'll be able to install a changer underneath the package and make a new piece.
Now while Brian's working on that package tray, I'm gonna get on this trans tunnel. Now somewhere along the life of this Nova, there was a hole cut out, probably for maybe some linkage on a manual transmission. Well, the owner wants to run an automatic, maybe a 700 R4, something with an overdrive. So instead of working with some of the, patches that were already in here, you better just go ahead and clean it up. So I plasma out, at least some straight edges. I can get rid of this thing. Now I got something better to work with. So once I get the edges cleaned up nicely, then I can make a little template. Probably get Bryan in here, push down this cardboard nice. Then I can get out from the bottom, scribe real nicely around the opening so I've got a perfect pattern here. Then I can go about 1 inch outside of that so I've got some overlap. So I got a nice overlap here for some welding. Now, what's going to be interesting about this one, there's a lot of curvature in this tunnel and this floor pan. So we might need to do a little bit of metal convincing. I'll probably grab Bryan, get some mad skills, get this thing to fit real nice. So let me get working on this.
Okay, we got our hole pretty much cut out. That's about ready to go. Just need some tighting. I took chipboard, made a little pattern that fits inside of there. So now I'm going to transfer it to some 18 gauge steel. Got this laid out, sharpied around. Now I've left myself a 2-inch flange over on this side, and I made a note to be sure and remember, take your calipers, do a thing across, then you've got a good square piece. I'll cut that out and be ready to go. Now before I fill the hole with this panel, I wanted to kind of lay out our stereo. It's a good idea while we've got the package tray open. Custom Auto Sound sent us this secret audio. And this stuff is cool because you can put it in the back, it's hidden. Now in these hot rods and muscle cars, in the front in the dash area, a lot of times you're pushing back a big engine. They came with a small dash. A lot of them didn't come with a heater. And by the time you stick an AC up there, you really lose all your room to put a lot of stereo equipment. So these are cool because you can put them in the back. They've got 200 watts of power. Now, this guy is going to tell you not only your iPod, your stereo, your satellite, it'll give all your artists, you can hide this like in a little glove box. Doesn't take much. Like run the wires down the tunnel. The secret audio also comes with this wireless remote, so you can mount it like in the console, maybe under the dash, somewhere nice and hidden. And it also comes with a USB drive. It comes with a cable for your iPhone, iPod, so you can run that up to the front as well. This is from Custom Auto Sound. This is a really cool way to save yourself some space in the dash. And I think now I'm going to go ahead and get this thing cut out. We'll be ready to put our package tray in.
All right, now, got my cardboard cut out, transferred my pattern onto my sheet metal. I use the kick shear just to get straight lines, get it off of the big sheet, something more, a little bit smaller. Now you can see I left 1 inch around the outsides, but I got to cut the corners off. So the hand shear is great for doing all kinds of small sheet metal work. Saves you a lot of grinding wheels, a lot of cramped hands with the shears. So an easy trick is I'll cut the corners off so that metal doesn't kind of bind up as I'm working it. So once I cut the corner off, then I can start making a little radius. So I'm going to finish working this piece. Next thing you know, I'll be ready to start shaping it on that tunnel. So we're going to take a break. We'll see you back here in a little bit.
I have a 7-year-old Lexus with yellowed plastic headlights. How can I restore these without having to spend a fortune at the dealership having them replaced? There's actually a new solution that you can practically do faster than driving to the dealership. It's the 3M Headlight Lens Restoration System. For under $30, you can use your cordless drill with the sanding pads in the kit to sand away the hazard surface. Then use 3M polish and a foam pad. Your headlights will look almost new, and you'll be safer when you drive at night. This tip is brought to you by 3M Car Care, performance-driven solutions. This segment of Two Guys Garage is brought to you by Satisfied Brake Products, North America's leading independent manufacturer of friction technologies. Look to Satisfied for all of your stopping needs.
All right, welcome back. We're putting a couple of beads here in our panel, and Birdman here getting me rolled down. This is the second pass. You kind of crank down your depth. Hold on a sec. Crank down your depth each time. That way you're kind of getting a little deeper. And the first pass is really easy to run, so want to make sure that you go with that light pass. You can also change your line. If you mess up, you can come back if it's light, but if you crank it all the way down, one, you're going to work out that dude's biceps. It's rough, so.
Yeah, maybe work up a sweat here. When we get in these corners, we're going to go a little bit slower too, just so this backside of the sheet doesn't catch on the tool. Nice.
There you go.
Okay, let's speed it up in the center sections.
Now you make this, when you set your bead roller up, you can set that step by, can you point out that little guy right there?
We got a little adjustment back here to get this depth of bead, thickness of panel, and how aggressive you want to get.
And these make it look a lot more professional. It gives it some strength. And you know, you spend a lot of time and work on these things. You may as well at least make it look cool.
That's right.
So we got to break one more panel. This will go back in, plug weld it all the way around the edges.
Yeah, and I got to finish my trans panel. So that thing's all cut out, and I'm starting to get the thing curl around that tunnel a little bit. So let me get back to work on that one. All right. Well, you can see I'm starting to get some shape in this panel. You can see I'm working my way from the bottom up. I'm getting the up curve, kind of getting some clicos in, which is nice. Then I can kind of get up here and really work it and start folding it around the top side. Now you can see I got my Sharpie, kind of made my radius. That was nice. I can flip the panel over, actually use whatever shape is around to get the right curvature. So if I get my center line of radius here, I know how to bend it, where to shape it, just keep working it. Work up a sweat. That's the thing about a floor pan. Eventually, it's going to get carpet over it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So you can just basically muscle it, find anything that's shaped that you need, get the hammer out, use a couple clicos. Next thing you know, I'll have lost a few pounds, but I've got this thing shaped, ready to weld in. So I'm going to keep burning a few calories.
All right, next question from our website is from Mike M., who also likes to get his hands dirty, evidently. When building a frame, why would I opt for using square tubing instead of round? Seems like everyone uses square, but it would seem to me that pound for pound, round is stronger. Well, yeah, Mike, you're right. You know, round is stronger, but it's also a lot more labor intensive to build. Every time you cut off a round tube and you try to put the two together, you've got to make a fish mouth. So it takes a lot of time and energy to make sure that fit is right. You can use an end mill to do it. You can do a hole saw. You can just use a grinder. There's a lot of ways. It just takes a lot of time. Whereas if you look at square, all you have to do is cut it off just like you would, wood, and put the two together, and it's very easy. It's also, if you put round on the bench, it just rolls right off. You put square on there, it fits really easy. Now, what a lot of people do on hot rods is you take a couple of either square or rectangle side rails, you get them nice and square, then you come back with round. All you do is cut it at a square angle, and then you can see you weld it on perfectly. It's very easy. So hopefully that answers your question. Send in your questions to our website. Right now, we've got to take a break. We'll be back.
When we come back, we're going to go to the dyno and check out our engine for this hot Nova. Hey guys, now while Brian's back at the shop doing some real work on that 66 Nova, we're over here at United Speed World having a little fun with the dyno. Now this is Junior. Junior's been taking care of us as far as the engine side goes. We've got a small block Chevy 350, pretty mild build, but as you can see, it's starting to do pretty well on the dyno. And if I'm looking here at 5,500, we're still climbing on power, so if we just stretch it out a little bit, I'm thinking we might break 400 on a nice little street rod like this.
You got it.
Now we've got a cool fuel injection system. We're going to take the carburetor off. We're going to show you how easy EFI can be, so come on in here and we'll show you some cool stuff. Carburetors are great. They're a real simple device, but they're somewhat crude. They get the job done. You can bolt one on, you can get yourself down the road, but EFI adds a lot of refinement. Things like cold start, being able to go from low altitude to high altitude, having your tune adjust with the engine and the conditions that you're driving in. Well, to make things easy, Fast came out with their Easy EFI. Now what makes this thing so great is you can see this throttle body here starting to look like a carburetor as far as its fit and finish, but it's got everything on it self-contained for fuel injection. You've got twin fuel rails, twin injectors on both sides. You've got idle air control, so it'll bump your idle up and down as needed. But your throttle linkage looks just like your carburetor. So you can literally unbolt your old carburetor, bolt this guy right on. Everything you need, all the standard inputs and outputs. You got a map sensor, more injectors, air temp, and throttle position. Everything you need is basically put right in this unit. You bolt it on and you're set. The only additions you need to do is add an O2. This gives it feedback. Tells the computer what's actually getting burned, what's left over fuel, or what's too lean, and it'll adjust itself. Now on top of that, you add basically a water temp sense, and that tells the engine, well, it tells the computer what the engine's doing as far as temperature, and that's it. Everything else is done right here in this little brain. The nice thing about this, it'll tune itself. So once it's running, it's getting constant feedback. There's a little guy in here with a calculator, and he's doing a lot of calculations, 1 billion per second or whatever it is, and he's dialing everything in, making it run better and better. Each time you go around the block, each time you do a power run, and all the conditions that you drive in, it's going to correct. Now where do you get started? This is your interface. It's really simple. It's got a nice graphic display, and all you do is tell it a few basics about the engine, what size it is, displacement, what idle speed you want to run at. It goes ahead and puts in a pre-program to get you started right off the bat. So you can just go and turn the key on and fire the engine up. Each time you go around the block, it's going to get smarter. Now this is nice because you can go through and you can scroll and you can monitor everything that's going on. So you can check each of your sensors. It's got its own diagnostics, which is great. And if you get in any kind of problem, it'll go into a limp home mode, just like you do on an OEM car. So let's say O2 sensor goes bad or wire gets chafed or broken. Well, it's going to go back to its basic memory, and it's going to give you a safe tune or calibration to get you home so you can figure out what's wrong with it. It's a bolt-on kit that you don't need a PhD degree and you don't need a laptop. So let's get this thing on, let's get it running, let's see how it does. Now, this is a 4150 style throttle body, which holds up to 600 horsepower. But if you're building something a little bit bigger than that, you can buy a second unit, run like a dual tunnel ram. Now you got 1200 horsepower capable. The brain's already ready. You just tell it what you're running. It's good to go. And now you're screaming down the road with some pretty monster power. We're going to do another dyno pull. We've done a couple already, and each time this engine is self-tuning itself and dialing itself in. Air-fuel ratio is coming in real nice and tight and starting to get real close to that carburetor setup.
Get closer and closer every time, so we'll do it again and see what we can get.
Now you're going to put a load basically via the computer on that dyno cell.
That's
and it's
correct.
going to control as we ramp this engine up and give it full throttle.
Yes, sir.
So let's give it one more try. Here's our range right here we're reading. Nice clean pull. We'll spit it out and we'll check out the results. Nice, 390 horsepower. Right where we were at before with the carburetor, and we haven't done a thing. That's the easiest fuel injection system I've ever worked on.
Yeah, it doesn't get much more easy than that. Take it out of the box and bolt it on and you're ready to go.
So stick around, maybe we'll see that thing in the car here soon.
How can you extend your engine's life? We'll have the answer after the break. How can you extend your engine's life? There's no substitute for preventative maintenance. Change the engine oil at recommended intervals or sooner if you operate your vehicle in severe duty conditions. Severe duty can be described as heavy traffic, very dusty roads, or heavy towing applications. Be sure to use the proper SAE grade and API service type as outlined in your vehicle's owner's manual. And always include a high-quality oil filter as part of your oil change. This tip is brought to you by Z-Max. Performance you can feel.
Like our nice new Timothy White photos. Those
Oh,
are cool,
these are
huh?
great. Little ambiance to the shop here. Hey, welcome back to the break room. We've got some cool products today. This is a really cool one. This is the Secret Audio SST from Custom Auto Sound.
Secret. Now, the good thing about these, you can mount them anywhere, so you can hide this controller. You got a plug that's going to go into this. You can stash this maybe under your package tray in the rear. And this is the same one we've been using today on the Nova. And we just kind of want to show you a few more of the features this thing has.
This is cool. I mean, why they call it Secret Audio? So this is the amplifier and the tuner, and you can hide it anywhere, but it's got connections for everything. Satellite radio, iPod, USB, you name it. It's got connections for everything. You hide it, you tuck it away under the seat, behind the dash. Here's your little controller, just for the things that you need.
Cool stuff. Secret Audio from Custom Auto Sound. All right, now we've talked about these Stage 8 locking fasteners. These are really great quality piece, and what these are for a header collector.
Yeah, any bolted header collector, they've got a complete kit for. They're easy to install. They're available in stainless for high heat applications, high performance. And what's great is they come with a locking clip, a little retainer here, and the backside weld nut. You got everything you need to bolt your collector together.
And they also do custom applications. They come with everything you need, made in the USA. They're available in stainless, so you know they're not going to get rusted or corroded. So be sure on any exhaust component that you get a mechanical locking fastener like this high-grade one from
Check out their
Stage 8.
website. They got a lot of stuff on there.
A lot of cool stuff on their website. All right, strut masters. Now this is a Cadillac strut replacement kit, and these are like 25% of the cost. If you go to OEM, you go to Cadillac, and you want to buy that airbag system and replace it.
You're paying through the nose.
Oh, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Well, these are neat because it's a lifetime warranty, so these parts will last you forever. There's no special parts, no modifications, real easy to bolt in, last you the lifetime of your vehicle. Great replacement for that expensive OEM type
Yeah,
system.
there's no reason to go to, this is definitely the way to go for those Cadillacs, and they have other models too, Lincolns and whatnot. All right, this is from Borgeson. These fit 79 to 93 Dodge full-size pickup.
Yeah, if you've got one of those pickup trucks, you've probably encountered a little bit of sloppy steering. This is great because they've upgraded it. You can't buy the original anymore, but the new coupler here, solid, mechanical, you know, U-joint type.
Borgeson's been around for a long time. These are a double D shaft. Now if you get a 4-inch, let's say you get a 4-inch lift, these will go up to that. And when you get a body lift, you're going to raise that thing up. You're going to have, you know, some problems with your original shaft. This will help get rid of the original coupler and allow you to get rid of that shimmy.
These are longer than stock for all you guys out there doing modifications.
From Borgeson. All right, we're out of time in the break room, so we'll see you next time. Back to work.
For more information about anything you've seen on today's show, check out speedtv.com or visit TwoGuysGarage.com. This tip is brought to you by LMC Truck. Make maneuvering your truck or SUV a one-person job. Get yourself a set of heavy-duty truck dollies from LMC Truck. The ball-bearing casters and wheels allow for easy movement in any direction. The wheel dollies come in a set of 4 and feature 3-inch diameter non-marring wheels, so it won't do damage to your shop floor. The 12x16 formed plate is made of quarter-thick mild steel and rated at 7,000 pounds per set. Each dolly has one caster equipped with a locking safety brake. When you're working on a project and want the ability to move your truck easy and fast, get yourself a set of truck dollies. This tip is brought to you by LMC Truck. With over 30,000 truck parts in stock, you can get the right part at the right price right now.
Okay, it's about got that spot taken care of.
All right.
Now, what we're doing, we're every 4 inches, we're doing what's called a 5/16 plug weld. That's the standard auto body, you know, kind of way that you do the auto body experience. And the reason is when you have a panel like this, it's really fast, it's really easy, and it just gets the panel in, and it's really strong. And there's a couple of reasons. One, you're getting a good penetration down into between the 2 panels. The other is it actually allows a little bit of flexibility. So as this thing's running down the road, you know, it's not all locked up. It's got some room to breathe and a little bit of room to move. And this is a panel that, you know, you don't need to be a perfect butt weld that you're gonna, you know, paint and primer and sand. You know, this holds speakers.
Yeah, it's not holding the car together, but it's giving it a lot of stiffness in this plane.
Sure.
Now, another thing you want to do is use some weld-through primer on the inside of both of these panels. It'll keep it from rusting in between. Now, when you spot weld in here, crank the heat up. But you can't just do the heat because you'll blow a hole through. So crank up the wire feed too. So you're throwing a lot of heat and a lot of wire at it. You get good penetration, good plug weld.
Yeah, and anywhere in this car is a good spot for a MIG for the wire feed. You know, you get down in the center of the hole, work it around, and you'll basically, what happens is when you watch it, it'll fill the hole. And right at that point where it's flat, that's why he said you want to do it hot. Because when you get it flat, that's when you know that you're really getting that good hot penetration and it's going to really hold together well.
Yeah, well, this panel's looking good. Next thing up, we'll get some speakers and start cutting our holes out, mount our stereo, maybe get that display mounted in the front.
Get the engine back in with the new fuel injection.
The new EFI, it's going to make this baby run sweet.
That looks like a pretty cool setup.
Yeah, you know what? It was probably one of the easiest setups I've ever done too.
Fast. That's
Fast,
the way we like
fast,
it.
Fast.
All right, that's it for today. We got to roll. Thanks for watching Two Guys Garage.
All right, see you next time.
All right, let's get back into this baby. Ready? Hold in now, wait.